Okay, I'm back and I successfully removed, I don't know if you can see it or not, that little guy right there, which was in there. And the way I did that was using this brass sleeve to protect the cup. You insert it in there into the pellet cup, and using my trusty mini bit in my rotary tool, you put that inside the collar and then drill it out. Now you got to be careful. I measured mine pretty close to give me about a 1/16 to 2/16, or that would be an 1/8 leeway beyond the barrel, and that would route out that little plastic pellet. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is put this on. And this is the diaphragm that will go up over this. The way we do that is I'm going to need my trusty homemade pellet pusher, which this end has been sanded down to 3/32 seconds. And I'm going to place the pellet pusher into the diaphragm. And when you do this, you're going to kind of stretch that back to narrow up the thickness of the rubber on the tip. And that's going to allow that to fit in to the pellet cup when you push it home with the pellet pusher. Little tip, maybe a little bit of saliva on the end of this is going to help ease it through the opening. So let's see if I can get this to work on a first try. Well, it seems that it's on there, and then you're going to want to measure the length on that. And the way you do that is using my scale here. I'm going to measure from the back where it's attached to a mark that I've put on this wood. That's going to be 1/16", and that's going to give you enough length here to fold back over onto this tapered collar and then create the diaphragm. So I'm going to be careful with this. Get my straight edge out, flatten that out, and I'm going to cut it. Now after you've cut it, what you're going to want to do is take some of this, which is, as it says, graphite lubricant, and we're going to just sprinkle that onto the outside of this. And I had a brush here. I'm going to kind of brush that on the outside. And just coat that. Once you've done that, clean off my fingers from that and clear my work area. I use another stolen kitchen tool, a plastic chopstick, to put onto that to allow it to be easier to invert this. And there's what you end up with. Kind of test it by holding on to the collar and pressing. That's going to evert the sack, and this one looks like it's working pretty well. So next we move on to putting this back into here. What I'm going to do is take some of my cheap Vacumatic lubricant, and I'm going to apply it back where it meets the tapered collar, and I'm going to put some where the wide part at this end is. And then I'm going to reinsert this into the barrel. There we go. Now you're going to want to push it till it stops. You're going to want to seat the threads so that you get it so you're not cross-threading it. Careful not to turn the plunger here, because it'll twist the sack inside there. So once you get it started, then we're going to go back to my vac block, and get this guy back in there, tighten it down. And using a light, I'm going to check down into there, and I see that it's straight inside the barrel, which I'm pretty sure you can just barely see down at the very bottom. That white shinier thing is the pellet inside there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'm going to tighten it down back up into the barrel. That looks about right. Now I'm going to check it, make sure that it's seated in there correctly. I'm going to remove it from the vac block. Okay, now that I've gotten it back into the barrel, there is a little bit of indentation where the collar has gone slightly below the rim of the barrel, and that means it's fully sealed. I'm going to clean up my work area here and get ready for the vacuum test, and that's pretty simple. You can got a little water here. There you go. I don't know if you could hear that, but okay, so now that we've got suction, we're going to get back to the section with the nib and the feed and the breather tube in it and install it back in here. For this step, I'm going to take a little bit of what I call pen honey, something that is my own secret recipe, and it looks like honey. You wouldn't want to eat it though. And take a little teeny dab of that, and then you're going to put that dab onto the top of the threads, right a little bit below the edge where the threads start. And then I take my hair dryer, or you can use a heat gun, and I heat this up until that little dab flows all the way around, turning this in the heat, and it'll coat those threads. And then as soon as it's coated, you're going to immediately put it back into the barrel, tighten it down in there until it's finger tight, till it stops, and you're just about home. Alright, so there's the section back into the barrel, and it's pretty much loaded up, and we're going to do a water test, and I'm going to try to let you see. The way you do this is you're going to submerge the nib right to where, a little bit over where the section is. Then you depress the plunger here at the top, and there's some bubbles coming out. Parker said to depress the plunger and wait about a second at the upstroke, and to do this 10 times. It may take more. That proves that, as you'll see, it's filling with the water, which when you fill this up to write with ink, it's going to work the same way. That this is a successful repair on this pen. And when you're done, put on the blind cap cover, which I'm happy to say fits nice and smooth and flush, which is the way it should. And then you're going to put your cap back on, and there you have it.